Hey there, James here, and welcome to another one of my videos. Hope you're having a great day. Now, a couple of weeks ago I had a request from William for some double stop ideas to decorate basic chord shapes to come up with some really cool sounds, and that's exactly what we're going to be looking at in a moment. I'm going to be breaking down a lick, showing you how to play it, and showing you how you can take the ideas and use them to come up with some licks of your own. Now, I publish one of these lick videos every single week, so if, like William, you've got a request for a kind of lick you want from a certain scale or in the style of a certain player or anything, all you got to do, put it down in the comments. I do check them and I'll try and help you out. So any requests, get them in the comments below. Anyway, let's have a little listen to the lick I'm going to show you today, and then I'm going to break it down and show you how to play it step by step. So here it goes. 3, 4. Now the lick is basically coming from this A major chord here at the 5th fret. Now you might play it as a bar chord, but to play this lick we need to sort of play it a bit more like this. We're going to bar the top 2 strings with our first finger at the 5th fret. We're going to play the 6th fret on the G string with our 2nd finger and the D string at the 7th fret with our 3rd finger. Our thumb is going to take care of this E string at the 5th fret. Now this lick is obviously very much in the style of Jimi Hendrix, and this is how Jimi used to play these kind of licks. The problem with the bar chord is it sort of locks your hand in this position and it's very hard to add anything much to it. Whereas this way we can move between the double stops and other bits of the lick quite easily. So that's the basic chord shape which the lick is coming from. Of course the lick is completely movable just like the chord shape, so later on we'll look at how you can move it around to some different keys. Now the first part of the lick is decorating that basic chord shape like this. So let's zoom in close and have a look at how we do that. So I'm beginning by hitting the bass note on the E string with a down pick. Then I'm just chipping the top bit of this chord and cutting it off quite short there. Right, now we're going to move into some double stop ideas. We're going to look at where these ideas are coming from in a second, but first of all, I just want to get you playing the basic lick. So we're going to pick the top 2 strings, and I'm going to hammer my 3rd finger onto the B string at the 7th fret, and then take it off. So a very quick little hammer on there, and then picking the top 2 strings on their own. Now a little word of warning here, you want to keep this 3rd finger slightly arched when you hammer on. If it's flat, it's going to interfere with this note here. So keep it nice and arched so that you clear the high E string and you don't interfere with that note. You can hear they're both ringing there. This is very important to get the sort of correct flavour for this lick. So here's what we've got so far. Now our next little double stop, we're going to move out of this shape a little bit. I'm going to put my 1st finger on the G string at the 4th fret, and I'm going to put my 2nd finger on the 5th fret on the B string. I'm going to pick both of those strings, and I'm quickly going to hammer my 3rd finger onto the 6th fret on the G string. Then I'm going to do that again. That's what we've got so far. To finish off this part of the lick, we're going to go back to the chord, hit the bass note, and strum it again. So here's what we've played up to this point. 3, 4. Three, 4. Now before we move on to the rest of the lick, I want to talk about where these added notes come from. Now I've already said that it's coming from an A chord, and all we're really doing here is taking fragments of this A chord and adding in some other notes which we can use to decorate them. Now these notes can be seen as coming from a few different places, but we're going to think of them as coming from the major pentatonic scale. So imagine you've got your A chord down here. Let's look at how you could sort of put a major pentatonic scale or part of a major pentatonic scale around that, because that's going to explain where these notes are coming from. The fragment of the pentatonic scale we're going to use is here, and all you really need to know is how it fits around this chord shape. Then you can find these added notes whenever you move the chord to anywhere else on the guitar. So we're going to play 7 down to 5 on the high E string, 7 to 5 on the B, and 6 down to 4 on the G. That's going backwards down the scale, obviously. You could go up it. So this is where these added notes are coming from. We can add in this high E string at the 7th fret there. We're not actually doing that, but we could do. The 7th fret on the B string, that's the note that we're adding to our chord when we do this bit. And the the 4th fret on the G string. Now that's the one we're hammering from when we hammer out onto the 6th fret on the G. So we're kind of borrowing this note and then hammering back into the chord. So if you remember this chord shape and you remember this fragment of scale around it, that gives you a few different notes which you can sort of hammer into and hammer off and things to add into this basic chord. So that's where these notes are coming from. Now the next part of the lick is doing this. It's really a sort of reminiscent of Hendrix's playing on tracks like The Wind Cries Mary and Little Wing. And this is one of the things he often used to do. So let's have a little look at where that comes from and how you can use it in your playing. Now we're going to move away from the chord shape a little bit here, and we're going to look at how to play this sort of sliding major pentatonic shape. I'm going to start down here on the 5th fret, that's our root note. Then I'm going to go 7 to 9 on the E string, then 7 to 9 on the A and the D. Now that is a sort of sliding pattern for playing a major pentatonic scale. And the bit we're really interested in are these two frets here and what we've got on these 3 strings. Because what we're going to do is bar the 2 low strings here, and we're going to pick them and hammer our 3rd finger onto the 9th fret on the E. Then move on to the next 2 strings and bar them with your 1st, and hammer onto the A string at the 9th fret. So we get that. Now onto the D string, we're going to pick 7, hammer onto 9 and pull it off, and then play the 9th on the A string. And that sort of fits on the second part of the lick. So let me play the whole thing for you now. 3, 4. Now this is completely movable. So let's say I wanted to move I wanted to play these ideas on a G chord, say, or even G going up to A. Well, if I move the chord shape down to the 3rd fret, it becomes a G chord. Then I've got all these little moves here, which I can easily find. You see, what I'm doing is I'm learning them around the chord shape rather than around a scale shape so much. So then whenever you've got this chord, you can easily find these sort of little ideas and tricks to use to decorate your chord. So in G, I'll be down here. If I needed to play it on an F chord, well, F is down here at the 1st fret. So by learning it in this way, you could quite easily find how you can use this over different chords in different keys. Of course, you might also have, or chances are, the chords are going to be changing. So you might have G going up to A. Okay, so that's how you could move it across 2 different chords. Now, of course, this is just one example of what you could do with this, and a lot of the time you wouldn't have time to play the entire lick. But like I said, this is just an example. So what you need to do is take these little fragments, these little hammer-ons, see how they fit around this chord shape, and experiment, because you've got a few little tricks here which you can use to decorate your chords, and this stuff can sound really great there. Remember, if you've got a request for a lick from a certain player or a certain scale or using a certain kind of mode or anything like that, stick it in the comments below, because I'm looking for lots of ideas for these videos which I'm publishing every week. Subscribe so you don't miss any of my future lick videos or any of my other lessons which I publish each week. So hit the subscribe button and I'll see you in my next video. So good luck with this. Enjoy it. Look forward to seeing you in my next video and have a great day.